Namaste and Swagatam everybody. I'm Aditi Gopinath from Nadopasana. Nadopasana is a group of individuals from various fields, from music to medicine, dance to science and technology. Today is our first ever session on career counseling, and we're very lucky to have with us a retired wing commander, Joseph Paulson ji. Before we start the session, I'd like to give a short intro about Joseph ji. He has over the years been an organizational diagnosis consultant, a leadership trainer and coach, an ACDC assessor, a specialist in 360 degrees and psychometry. He began his career in the Indian Air Force, where he was a leadership trainer and a member of the board for pilot selection and behavioral assessment for leadership. He is qualified as a master trainer from the Department of Personal and Training, Government of India, as well as from Blessing White, USA. Joseph ji is a certified firewalker and empowerment coach and currently holds a Guinness World Record in firewalking. Joseph ji also holds several postgraduate qualifications, including an MSc, an MS in counseling, an MBA, and a diploma in training and development. He also holds the coveted AB certificate in occupational testing from the British Psychological Society. He is an authorized user and provider of over 50 psychometric tools, which are used in hiring, training, coaching, talent development, and career counseling. His services are in great demand across several industries, such as pharmaceuticals, retail, banking and financial services, IT, media, engineering, etc. In addition to his corporate work, he offers his services pro bono to students who cannot afford them through not-for-profit organizations. Thank you so much for agreeing to today's session, Joseph ji. Just a note to all the participants, this is going to be an interactive session, so please feel free to ask your questions. You can raise your hand or leave a question in the chat box and we'll try to get through all the questions. I'm going to hand the stage over to Joseph ji.
Thank you, Aditi. Thank you for all that detailed description. But one thing you forgot to mention, I was also a pilot in the Air Force. Okay, for everybody's benefit. So we are going to spend the next 45 minutes to 1 hour. So this is my background. So I've also bailed out or ejected from a MiG-21, like similar to the one photograph that you see. I'm a member of Caterpillar Club. A person becomes a Caterpillar Club member when he or she survives an ejection seat and comes down safely in a parachute. Okay, so those are some of the additional information I thought it's important to share. So welcome again, every one of you, and like Aditi said, it will be absolutely interactive. You can Raise questions in between, raise your hands in between, put in the chat box. You can unmute yourself and ask. And in case I want to hold on for a while, the response will be answered, say, every 10 minutes or so. So follow your passion is a standard, advice we hear ages down the line. Another famous quote is, choose a job you love and you will never work a day in your life, and go after your dreams and the money will follow. If you have seen these suggestions or quotes, please type in the chat box yes. Y for yes. Just type in Y if you have heard this quotes or suggestions. Okay, so I'm getting a lot of yes, and I'm going to give you a shocker. All of you who have said yes, a shocker saying that probably this is not true. Okay, so that is a hypothesis. Following your passion may not be the best career advice or choosing a profession advice. I have been monitoring a lot of international magazines, and that's been the talk of the town for at least last 3 years. And I have been researching on this, and I'm going to explain to you the findings, and that'll be interesting. What you enjoy doing is what is another word for passion, which means the gifts or the interest that you are passionate about. And there are ways to find that out. If you read books, articles, people go into discovering their passion, what they enjoy doing. Some take days and weeks and months, and some in years, and still they are confused about what they are passionate about. And I'm sure that will be reverberating with some of the participants today. So I'm going to share with you my research approach, which is published also. How do you find your true purpose in life? You and I, irrespective of religious beliefs and affiliation, when we came to this earth, we signed a contract with our Creator. How can I go and serve and solve the problem, find opportunities to make this world a better place? So that's the kind of contract that we signed with our Creator. And since the Creator did not give a user manual for this complex creature that we are, or a creation that we are, so we get into the process of discovering what we enjoy doing, the gifts and the interests that we are passionate about based on what we like, what we enjoy doing, starting from our childhood onwards. Then, as we go from childhood to adolescence to adulthood, we become good at certain things, particularly effortless skills and talents. Now, what are effortless skills and talents? I'm going to explain to you in a while. The contract that we had with the Creator, based on spirituality, irrespective of religion, is serve or help first the population or the humanity to receive whatever you want in abundance. I'll explain to you where it is coming from. And the beautiful part is the next one. That is, okay, your needs, wants, and desires, or what we call values and motivations. Okay, now that is the framework of, what we call my inspiration, or the law of dharma. Law of dharma comes from Dr. Deepak Chopra. How many of you have heard about Dr. Deepak Chopra? If you have, please type Y for yes in the chat box. Yeah, I can see a couple of them. Now, Dr. Deepak Chopra is a doctor, MBBS doctor, studied in AIIMS in the 70s. His father also was a doctor, and he went to US in search of job in the 70s. Had a tough life, but lucky. And he continued in his medical practice as an MD, having done his master's. And then in the mid to early 90s, he was attracted to spirituality and Ayurveda. And he's the only living person who is an MD in allopathy medicine and globally popular, and learned Ayurveda, and he speaks with such a Ayurveda far better than a lot of Ayurveda doctors I personally know. And he's a New York bestseller in books. And one of his books that has caught my attention is The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. I strongly recommend that you read, because I draw a lot of inspiration, and a lot of my talk is based on that. Now, that is one. Second inspiration I draw from this talk is from Abraham Maslow, 1953. He published the article on the needs of human beings, the deficiency needs as well as the growth needs. Another publication that you would have come across, and I also came across in 2016, is from Garcia and Lieberman about Ikigai. And there are a lot of people training people on Ikigai, and there is a lot of confusion also about Ikigai. Just to give a brief, Ikigai is the concept of living, the purpose of living as per Japanese, and that leads to long life and satisfaction. You know, waiting for the Monday morning to happen, looking forward to do that. And people who follow Ikigai are described to be living more than 100 years old, which was the basic design of our body. Based on all this curiosity, I published my book during COVID. COVID was a changing time for me. Make your purpose your profession. And what I discovered is that people make your passion your profession and land up into trouble. That's why so many articles come across. Don't make your passion your profession, because you're likely to land up in penury, in poverty, and in stress. So that is the book that I published 2 months back. And all that I'm going to explain is based on that book as well. And of course, much more enlightening for each one of us going to be present here. So typically when we say passion, another word for passion is interest.
Joseph,
What you like, your
question.
Yeah. Yes.
Are the slides changing? Because someone just asked about that.
Yeah. Are you able to see slide passion versus profession?
No, we just see the first slide. Don't make your
No.
passion.
Yeah, only the first slide is visible.
Okay, what I'll do is I'll stop share and I will start sharing again. I think it does tend to get frozen. Okay, can somebody put in the chat, you can see the slide title, Passion versus Profession?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So I'll take you back by 2 slides, because that's an important one which I wanted to share with you guys. So this is my inspiration. Okay, the book by Dr. Deepak Chopra. He's written more than 70 odd books, and the book I love is The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success, and my book is about the 7 spiritual law I'll explain. I'm also influenced a lot by Abraham Maslow, who talked and wrote about hierarchy of human needs, and Garcia and Lieberman, who published the first book on Ikigai, and thereafter a number of people have published the book on Ikigai. My book that I wrote 2 months back during the COVID lockdown was Make Your Purpose Your Profession, based on all these inputs. And the model, the 4 circles on the left, is the model that integrates all these inputs. So let me explain, because I gave a catchy name, Don't Make Your Passion Your Profession, based on all these studies done. So typically when it's a passion, it's an interest, hobby, pastime. The focus in a passion is self and inward, fun and enjoyment, pleasure and bliss at the individual level. Okay? Passion deploys gifts. Gifts means the, skills that come naturally to us without any training. Okay? Now, passion does not use skills or talents in demand in the marketplace. There are no other beneficiaries of passion other than you, because when you are passionate about something and you do, you only enjoy. There is no enjoyment for others. And you are passionate about something and you focus there, you ignore the need for a stable revenue or income or dollars to pay the bills and even meet the basic commitments, particularly of the family, in case you are married or you need to support your family. Versus when we say profession, other words for profession is career, vocation, work, focuses on self and inward as well as make a living, even if no fun at work. That means we need to generate income to make a living, support our families. And we deploy skills in demand. That means we may be right-handed, but we are willing to write with the left hand because that is a skill in demand. And we tend to operate in that space. And I will tell you the flaw for that with an example as we go along. Okay. You work solving someone's problem. When you work, when you're in a career, you're not solving your problem, you're solving somebody else's problem and they pay you for that. And you look for the highest salaries because you have to pay the bills. You also want to acquire wealth and save for the rainy day. These are the focus areas, difference between passion and profession. Okay, let's look at some more. So this we said, what about profession? Purpose, interest is important when you look at the purpose in life. Okay, the focus of purpose, which is different from passion, is serving others, reducing the pain, sorrow, grief of others. And the question a person who chooses purpose over passion is, how can I help? How can I serve others to reduce the pain or increase the joy? When you choose your career based on your purpose, you deploy your gifts, skills, and talents, which are inherently pleasurable. And the universe reciprocates with abundance and legitimate needs and wants, including the money that you need. Now, the problem is, Dr. Deepak Chopra says, if you serve others using your gifts, skills, and talents in creative ways to solve their problems or reduce the pain, sorrow, grief, the universe will automatically reciprocate and bring in abundance for you. Now, this, I found it difficult to believe earlier, when I say earlier, 2-3 years back, but now belief has changed. Why? So, make your passion your profession? No. Make your purpose your profession? Yes. And that is how I wrote this book 2 months back. It's available on Amazon. I'll show the link later. And it's just $1. Okay. Now, based on Dr. Deepak Chopra's book, 7 Spiritual Laws of Success, he says the true purpose in life is to serve humanity, make this world a better place with abundance of joy, happiness, peace, and fulfillment. Your capacity to serve humanity is based on the uniqueness you bring to this world, your gifts, skills, and talents. I can explain each word if you want to ask me those questions. Discover them and select those careers where you can creatively express them to the fullest and in as many ways as possible, which only you can do on this universe to serve humanity. In doing so, you are able to fulfill the needs, wants, and desires of all the stakeholders, including you. So let me give an example. Somebody who follows a passion versus somebody who follows a purpose. So let us say cricket is a passion for an individual. He or she plays every Sunday. And whereas if cricket is beyond passion, is also a purpose to serve others, to find a livelihood as well, that person will attend cricket coaching camps to build skills so that he becomes employable or he can serve others. The person with passion plays in inter-club matches, whereas the person with a purpose in mind gets selected as a recognized player. Person interested in passion in cricket watch all matches on the TV. Lot of time spent there. Whereas a person with purpose becomes a professional commentator, an option. A person with passion will fly down to watch matches live. Like I know a number of people have flown down to Dubai and otherwise also any outside location in South Africa and others, sometime back in the previous years, to witness a match because they are so passionate about it. Whereas a person focused on purpose gets certified as an umpire, A person passionate about cricket will collect all kinds of souvenirs, whereas a person who is purpose related will be a renowned journalist or a photographer. Okay, train themselves to be there. A person who's passionate about cricket will give free talks on cricket, where a person for purpose be a part of fundraising cricket camps that are conducted either for students or even for adults. For a person for whom cricket is a passion, it is not a skill or a talent they play only for fun or hobby. Whereas a person who's using cricket as a purpose develops skill or talent more than a hobby. And a person who is passionate about cricket is highly interested, whereas a person who uses cricket as a purpose upgrades interest into skills so that they can use those skills for betterment of humanity and make the world a better place. I hope this gives some clarity as well as some question in the minds of people. Let me take you through one or two more slides. So when we provide career counseling to students or even working professionals, even retiring professionals, based on life purpose, bringing clarity on life purpose, we help and empower you to make your purpose your profession, not your passion your profession. In 3 easy steps. What are they? So the 3 steps, one is discover your gifts, skills and talents, needs, wants and desires, using the 4 tests that we offer. One is called vocation, number 2 is called Big 5, which is a personality trait test, reasoning test, which is cognitive ability test, and a motivation or a values test. We help you decide on those careers that offer maximum opportunities to leverage your gifts, skills and talents. I use the abbreviation of GST, for serving humanity while fulfilling your needs, wants and desires to the fullest possible. And of course, take action to reach a chosen career destination. If you are a student, your educational pathway, if you are a professional, could be a skill building pathway, so that your crafted life purpose statement will guide you like a North Star to become absolutely fulfilling in your career. Okay? Now, the problem with the definition of dharma based on Dr. Deepak Chopra is this, or life purpose. The issue with human beings, we are rational, logical human beings. We believe that the universe will reciprocate to meet your legitimate needs, wants, desires. We means a spiritual person, whereas human beings are doubting Thomases. Spirituality says, how can I help, how can I serve? And do you know what the human beings say? What's in it for me? After completion of engineering or MBA, when you go for an interview, we typically ask the employer, what's in it for me? How many of us tend to ask, how can I serve you, Mr. Employer, Miss Employer? We don't ask. Contrary to the spiritual perspective, and we are all spiritual beings on a human journey, not the other way around, human journey with a spiritual purpose. Rational, logical, egoistic mind asks, what's in it for me? Discovering your values and motivations is part of our approach to holistic life purpose-based career counseling, because if we are not clear what we want, we may not be able to communicate to our employer what exactly we want. We only talk about money, and money is only one of the 15 top research needs of human beings. I'll explain that. So why is it important to discover the skills and talents if you want to live a life on purpose? Let's look at the first one, pilot on the top left. Pilot uses the flying skills after he does a commercial pilot license, which will cost anywhere between 30 lakhs to 50 lakhs today. What is the service a pilot provides? Mobility from place A to B, safely of course, and who's a beneficiary passenger? Let's look at ISRO scientists. What service does he provide? Say he provides communication. Most of the communication that happens is provided by satellite-based communication system. Who's the beneficiary? Citizen. Similarly, a sound engineer. He works in the entertainment field. He entertains people. Who? The citizens. The service a sound engineer provides either in an FM station or in the film studios is entertainment. A psychologist works with mentally ill patients or others who have got challenges to reduce the stress. A sales manager provides buying decision to the shopper. A librarian provides knowledge or source of knowledge to students or anybody who wants to learn. Similarly, a merchant navy, let's look at a merchant navy person. He typically provides mobility as a captain to the oil industry if he's in a cargo ship or oil tanker. A doctor serves the patient who maybe to reduce pain. Sorry. A blogger provides information to a reader or a person wanting information, to a researcher. Similarly, a teacher provides knowledge to students, army officer provides protection to the nation, a registrar in a university or a college provides education or educational sources to students who come to learn. Are we able to look at how different professionals use the skills, gifts and talents, providing a service to a specific beneficiary? When we live a life of purpose, it is service like this, and there's a beneficiary, and we are able to provide them uniquely different from others. Okay. Now, do you notice these two figures, one on the bottom left and one on the top right? Can anybody write in the chat box? What are they? What words do you describe to indicate what is on the bottom left and what is on the top right? It's not rocket science. And somebody asked, what is GST? GST stands for Gifts, Skills and Talents. Yeah, butterfly and larvae. So a caterpillar. Cocoon, yeah, it is, the correct name is a caterpillar. Now, do you know that a caterpillar can live a life on the leaves of mulberry trees or any tree where they nest? And the butterfly goes around serving. What is the service rendered by the butterfly? Can anybody type in? What does the butterfly, what service does the butterfly render, and who is the beneficiary? Okay, somebody has said protection. Butterfly goes around, nature, some more specific. Pollinating agents, fantastic. So that's absolutely correct. So the service rendered by butterfly is pollination. Yeah? And how does the universe reward the butterfly? Nectar. Okay, the honey which survives. So I found the service rendered by a butterfly a perfect explanation of the spiritual approach to life purpose, what Dr. Deepak Chopra explains. You serve others, you will be given in abundance back by the people whom you serve. So the butterfly is served adequate nectar while it does the service of pollination to various flowers it visits. What a wonderful way to live, isn't it? So let me give you some more clarity. So career counseling is a process to find the right career that fulfills your life purpose. Life purpose is to serve others. Discover your unique gifts, skills and talents. That's how I use GST, as well as your needs and wants, like the nectar of the butterfly. Select the specific career that will make the rest of your life the best of your life. Opportunity to leverage your uniqueness to the fullest, serve and help others succeed in solving their problems and realizing their goals, and meet your needs and wants to the fullest, like the nectar in the butterfly. And of course, as a student, take action to achieve career excellence by the chosen field by going for higher education, or if you're an employee already, complete education, maybe there's a skill gap, build that and choose the right career using a purpose statement and using like a North Star to guide all your decisions. Any questions on this? You can unmute yourself and ask a question at this stage on this slide or whatever I covered in the previous slides. Okay. I'm not seeing any, so therefore any questions as of now. Aditi, you can always tell me in case I need to stop. So people make popular career decision based on what's in it for me, not how can I serve. So doctor, engineer, military, merchant navy, the airline pilot or airline captain, you could be uh, a civil servant, it could also be a sales professional, or there are other professions like teachers, customer service executives, designers, and others. Okay, you can ask questions on the chat box in case you have. So remember, whenever we complete our education or even before, when we search for careers, we are looking for careers based on what's in it for me. What do I want? Yeah. The butterfly, a good representation of spiritual perspective, doesn't go, where can I get honey? It says, let me go and do pollination. Yeah, honey will be an automatic side effect of the service I'm providing. Now, the question that we need to ask when we search for a job or a profession based on a purpose is, how can I help serve best with my gift, skills, and talents? So I've given 1 to 5, 15 needs, wants, and desires people look for in a profession. I want all of you to read 1 to 15 and tell me the top 3 important things that you seek in your current career or an aspirational career, and type in the chat box. You just need to type 1, 5, and 9 or 10, 11, 6. You don't have to type in the name. So may I request everybody, I'm going to give 3 minutes. Please type in what are the 3 most important things that you seek in a career of the 15 ones available presented to you. Yeah, I'm looking in the chat box. Okay, 10 and 15. Yeah, okay, that is from Boomer. 10 is well-being, no stress. 15 is idea sharing. 6, 8, 10. 6 is mobility, 8 is autonomy, 10 is well-being, no stress. Okay, some more. I'm looking for more responses from people. Okay, 2, 3, 7, 9, continuous improvement. 3 is intellectual curiosity. 7 is remuneration. 9 is security, stability. 3, 4, 8, intellectual curiosity, career growth, and autonomy, freedom. I got enough inputs to start this discussion. Okay, so what I'm observing is that we are actually not chasing money at the workplace. Yeah, career selection is more than chasing money. In the slide here, you have money, remuneration, or salary as one of the number 7. And few people only have said that as the top 3. And that is the actual truth. All those who have responded now have given the real spiritual answer to the question, what do I seek in work? Whereas, as parents, those who are parents on this meeting or others, we always look at remuneration or salary, or where can I get a better salary at the entry level, or 5,000 rupees at the mid level per month will make you switch your career. Isn't that true? I know people who work on contract labor in the not call centers, the retail chains, where I've done a lot of work. 500 rupees you give them extra in a day or even in a month, they will change the job, because for them making a living is more important. Therefore, what's the purpose of career counseling? I want to share with you a quick story without taking too much of your time. The story of the school dropout rabbit. This is adapted from the book Soar with Your Strengths. So the animal kingdom said, let us have a multi-skill building training. So birds, animals, ducks, and rabbits all enrolled in the training. Day 1 was running. Rabbit was the champion. Second day was jumping. Very good performance. Day 3 was swimming. And you know what happened to the rabbit? It almost got drowned, and the teacher gave F for fail. Very disappointed. The next day, the parents were called, and the principal said, let the rabbit go for extra classes, dedicated coaching. So the next 5 days was dedicated coaching for the rabbit to improve his so-called weakness of swimming. And you know what happened? Day by day, he got dejected. After this 1 week of rigorous swimming practice, which he dreaded, the announcement came from the principal, tomorrow we are going to do flying classes. Now, hearing that, the rabbit feared death, and he did what he was good at, run for his life. And that is why he was called the school dropout. The story will continue. I will cover the rest of the story as we go along. Do you know the career disasters that are happening? 80% of school, college students make wrong career decisions after 10, 12 onwards, primarily based on academic scores like I did way back in 1977. Or parental pressure, social standing and money, or availability of admission. Those who are familiar with Delhi, you know how 0.5% marks can get you an admission in St. Stephen's or not. Qualified doctors, dentists, pilots, after spending so many years and so much of money, quit to take on careers in real estate, banking, sales, marketing, and training. And you know why? I'll explain that later. There are more than 7,000 commercial pilot license holders aged between 19 to 35, having spent 40 to 50 lakhs minimum. No job. 75% of employees are unhappy at work because they don't find the joy in what they do. They have to work using the left-hand skills. Now, I'm going to ask you to do an activity to prove this point, okay? Now, I want all of you to take a pen or a pencil, put your signature with your primary hand on a piece of paper in front of you on the table. Put your signature like you sign on the check leaf. Put your signature like you do on a piece of paper. And you should be doing very fast. Wasn't it easy? Okay. Now, I want all of you to use your other hand. Most of them would be left hand, and put your signature below that. I want to see how it will be comfortable and how beautiful it will be, your signature below the primary hand signature. And I also want to know you to tell me whether the banker will clear the check or not. No, I'm getting body language responses. Banker is not going to clear the check. What about PKS God? Will the banker clear the check with your other hand signature? No. What about Vajula, the mother of 2 kids?
No, sir.
Will the banker clear the check? No. Ramachandra, will the banker clear the check with your other hand, assuming it's a left hand? Now,
No, definitely not, sir.
Okay, thank you. Now, what if I promise 1 lakh cash reward? Will you be able to sign with your left hand just as the way you sign with your right hand? If it is yes, put yes in the chat box. If you can, put yes in the chat box. If I give you a 1 lakh cash reward, will you be able to produce? Oh, a lot of people have said no. I'm actually feeling a bit disappointed. Some people say yes. I will practice, very motivated. I'll increase the cash reward to 1 crore. Will you be able to do it? And how many days will it take for you to practice? And definitely yes, yes. I love that response. So tell me, how many days? 1 week or 5 days or 3 days? A week? No? Done. So let us say you will be able to produce. Oh, somebody said this 2 hours. Galaxy M31, I don't know your name. I really love this concept. And that is the level of motivation, and what you say is absolutely true. When you are motivated, you will be able to do even in less than 2 hours. Now, sometimes motivation is 1 lakh cash or 1 crore cash. There is also one more motivation. There are 2 motivations in life. Increase pleasure, ecstasy, joy. That is a 1 lakh to 1 crore. Other one is increase the pain, sorrow, or grief, or reduce the pain, sorrow, or grief. So I'm going to come with the AK-47 in my hand, fully loaded, one belt of 32 rounds, and I'm going to put it around your neck with my hand on the trigger. I'm a trigger happy fellow. And I say, I am giving you 24 hours. If you do not reproduce the signature with your primary hand, I'm just going to press the trigger. Nobody will ask you any questions, or you can't even ask questions because you will not be alive. Will you be able to produce a signature with the gun on your neck within 24 hours? Please respond yes or no. I'm getting a lot of yes, and that is true because of the love of your life. Okay. Now tell me, you have mastered your signature with both the right hand and the left hand. I meet you after 6 months at Bangalore International Airport. You identify me as Joe, and you said, "Hey, Joe, Joseph Paulson, just hold on. I was part of your webinar, and now I can sign with both the right hand and the left hand." Oh, I said, "Wow, fantastic." So, you become a bit what you call clever, and he said, "Okay, you turn around like this, and on your sheet of paper you put signature with the both hand, right hand and the left hand, and you present in front of me and say, 'Joe, please tell me which is the right and left hand.'" I look at closely, it's almost the same. I said, "Fantastic." So I ask a cleverer counter question. I said, "This is 1, this is 2. Either this is left hand or this is right hand. Please tell me which one took longer for you to sign. Don't tell me which is left or right hand. Which took you longer for you to sign and which did not come naturally to you?" He said, "This one." I said, "That is a left hand signature." A left hand signature, unlike your right hand, if you're a right hander, becomes a natural, effortless activity when you do with the right hand. With the left hand, it is not natural, it is not effortless. You have to put focus, and therefore you will experience the stress inside of us. Do you know that most of us choose careers where we are told by the employer, start using a left hand based on the skills that don't come naturally to you. Therefore, you learn, struggle, get mastery, but you don't enjoy your work. That is why the research said 75% of the people are dissatisfied in the work not because of the salary, because they do not get an opportunity to bring out the skills, gifts and talents which come naturally to them. So going back to the slide, stress at work, not enough opportunity to fully express their gifts, skills and talents. 7, now I had a student, now of course the 28-year-old guy, he spent 7 years in an engineering college because the father was a farmer. He said, my son must become an engineer. 7 years, he could not complete the 3rd year. Finally, the father said, "Okay, boss, so he left the engineering college, total money spent crossed more than 30 lakhs. And remember, 7 years of your prime youth. He did his BBA successfully. And when I met him last year, he was a successful sales manager. He had applied for a sales job in my company, and that's how I discovered him. Okay. Now, how does a person select a career? Parental wishes, academic scores, peers, coin toss, unique interest, and sometimes astrological predictions. We all agree with this? It is true. Okay. Now, let's look at MBBS doctor. He chose a career, he became doctor. What all can he do as an MBBS doctor? He could be in a government hospital, he could work in an NGO, he could do his hospital administration and become a hospital administrator. He could be in the publishing industry that supports collateral for medical training. He could be a trainer. I know 2 doctors, MDs who are trainers like me. Some could be in real estate. I know a couple of people in Kochi and some in Bangalore. Some could be like a politician, like the health minister in Delhi. Some could be running a private clinic. How do they choose this? This is chosen based on their purpose. Yeah, and purpose is built on passion. Life purpose is about finding work that you enjoy doing, creatively expressing your natural gifts, skills, and talents, not just high income skills that you do not enjoy. So you will find some doctors will become NGO. The money is not the priority, the service is the priority for them. Ensuring your work solves problems faced by humanity or the ecosystem, and ensuring that you contribute to making this world a better place. That's your contract with the Creator in the spiritual realm. Okay? Now, predicting the future accurately, let us say in terms of careers. We are familiar with a number of things. So, what is this? Crystal ball gazing. This is the Kavadi in Kerala, Tamil Nadu, you find predictions. This is tarot card reading. This is the parrot prediction. This is palmistry. This is called, anybody knows what is this? You can unmute and speak or put in the chat box. The answer is already there on the slide. Phrenology. That means predicting the future based on the size of your skull. Very popular in the US, by the way. India, not very popular at all. Not popular at all. Okay. Then, Nadi astrology, if you go particularly southern parts of Tamil Nadu, some parts of Kerala as well. Now, I don't know if you're familiar. 35,000, they'll do a DNA analysis. It will take 14 days and tell you what you're likely to be. Accurate or not, I'm not sure. There's another dermatoglyphics, that means fingerprint analysis. A lot of people are promoting it. Indian Psychiatric Association has banned it in India. It is banned in the UK and the US also, despite whatever defenses people may bring. Psychometric testing. So 1 to 10 options. I want to know, or I want to ask you, when you make a career decision, would you like to go for the psychometric testing, which has got a higher reliability, validity, and using tools published by members who are professional bodies like British Psychological Society? I'm also a member of a British Psychological Society as a level AB holder. And I'm getting a chat message that, some message I'm not able to read. Aditi, you can narrate it for me. Okay. So that is one of the recommendations. So the first tool, now if you go through, and including Dr. Deepak Chopra does not know the shortcut that we have created. If you ask him, he says, ask these 4 questions. What did you enjoy doing? When was the time that stood still and you really freaked out doing something, but you never bothered about money? Imagine that money was not a consideration. What will you choose as a career? Now we have got a tool called interest profiling or vocation, and Shravan is already a certified person in that, so is Deepa. The test takes not more than 15 minutes, and within 30 minutes of conversation with a trained counselor, you can identify, looking at this report on the right side, what are your gifts. Any score 8, 9, 10 will be a gift that the creator has given. You just need to prove how it has been manifested. Any scores above 6 will be the skill that comes naturally to you, or what you enjoy doing. That could also be. So gifts are typically extreme scores of the high-end scores. And based on the gifts and what you I got a lot of noise outside. So based on the high scores, the interest profiling recommends for you various careers. So the base of selecting a career is like you signing with your right hand, careers where activities or skills that come naturally to you or what you enjoy doing. Yeah. Then we look, so what does the interest profiling? Some of you in the introduction said, I want to know, how do we find that out? So An interest profiling gives you answers as to what you like, love, or enjoy doing, not about skills part of it. So on the 12 o'clock, right on the top, we have got the doers who are active, hands-on, adventurous, the realistic people. Yeah. Then we have got the thinkers, the blue in color, investigative people, analytical, theoretical, inquisitive. The artistic people are the creators who are expressive, imaginative, and free-spirited. The helpers are the social people who are caring, supportive, and collaborative. And enterprising people are the persuaders, the people who influence others, who are ambitious, they risk take, and they manage people, they lead people to get results. And the conventional people are the organizers who are practical, orderly, and efficient. Now, can we find answers as to how can we force with this? If you want to become a pilot or a merchant navy captain or a cricketer, then probably you're a realistic person. If you want to become an ISRO scientist or a doctor or a virologist, then you are an investigative person. If you think you want to become a sound engineer, blogger, or a violinist, you are a creator. And if you think you want to become a psychologist, teacher, or social worker, what you are interested in, what you enjoy doing, then you are a helper. And as a persuader, you would choose sales and business, running a business, entrepreneurship, an army officer, or an IPS officer, or a chief executive officer, playing the role of a manager or a leader or an entrepreneur. And if you are interested in becoming a librarian, registrar, accountant, routine, repetitive work, you're more of an organizer. You got an idea how interest profiling or the test called vocation helps you decide what are the careers you will enjoy doing, because the interest profiling gives you answers as to what you enjoy doing, what you're passionate about, and what gives you joy, what your gifts are. Extreme scores will be the gift of the creator. Gift is a naturally occurring skill like singing, painting, dancing, cricketer. All these come naturally without any formal training. That's what it's called a gift, and which can be converted into a skill or a talent by sheer practice. So first test that we do to identify a passion, and finding the passion alone for career decision is incomplete. There are 3 more quadrants we need to look at. That's why we said don't make your passion based on the interest or the vocational results, your career or your profession, because you could go wrong. So second thing is you need to look at a personality assessment like a Big 5, trait-based assessment. Yeah, OCEAN is the abbreviation. So O for openness, C for conscientiousness, E for extroversion, A for agreeableness, N for neuroticism. I'll explain the crux of it as we go along. So when you do a personality test, you've already done the, the left and the right hand signature. You discover what comes naturally and effortlessly to you. Writing with the left hand, if you're a right-handed person, can be learned but requires focus, practice, concentration, extra effort, extrinsic motivation, and can be stressful.
Joseph Ji, we have a question from Galaxy M31.
Yeah.
They want to know, can't they be mixed? Like, can someone be interested in helping out and also be a violinist, for example?
All right, let me take you back. Good question. So violinist means the creator, artistic, right? And what is the second one? I can become a violinist and what? Huh?
A helper. Their
A helper. So a psychologist, teacher, social worker, a medical assistant or a medical service, healthcare provider, all comes under helper. Now, the RISAC model was created in the 50s by Dr. John Holland in the US Army, a psychologist. At that time, it was easy under RISAC. Now, today, if you do this vocation test, which you as well as Shravant will provide me, or Shravant will provide, or Deepa also will provide, has got not just 6, it's been further divided into 2, a total of 12. Now, what in the last about 15 years research has said is Because the careers are now complex, they're not straight-jacketed. You will be able to find your careers based on your passion, not one, but top 1, 2, 3, a combination thereof. So if somebody is artistic and social, that means the creator and the helper, there are careers where these two merge, or maybe a third one. To cite an example, if you're artistic and you're a helper, what do you become? You become a music teacher. Does that make sense? So let us say you are artistic is the highest, next is social, next is enterprising. What do? You start a musical showroom selling musical instruments, imported and Indian, and on the side, you also conduct morning and evening music classes. Are you able to now make out what are the possible perfect careers matching with more than one interest area? Okay, so I get a yes response, thank you. So let me move forward to get more clarity. Yeah. So we were here, extreme scores gives you talents. So why do we do a personality test? To find out what are the right-handed skills and the left-handed skills, meaning what are the skills that come naturally to you and what are the skills that don't come naturally to you. If you have got a job where you use only your right hand for doing all tasks, and if you got a job offer where 80% of the time you have to use your left hand, which one will you choose? Which will give you more satisfaction? Which one will bring out the best in you? Naturally, the skills that come naturally. That is why personality tests like the Big Five are important to validate your gifts and discover skills and talents that come effortlessly to you. So when you choose careers, you must not only choose based on the interest, because that's a passion, liking, you will not feel bored. You also want to use from that option, select the careers where your skills that come effortlessly to you. Okay. Then we go, the third element is your cognitive abilities or reasoning abilities. We use a test called Reasoning 20, where verbal, numerical, and abstract logical reasoning. Imagine you are very high, you've got a very high score on verbal, average in numerical and abstract. Would you join a course as a chartered accountant or as a journalist? If your score in verbal ability is very high and numerical and abstract is average, which career would you choose? Please put in the chat. Would you go for a journalism or would you go for chartered accountant? I'm looking for responses in the chat box. Journalism, perfect. See, now you're becoming a career counselor already without undergoing a training or certification. Let me give a counter question. If your numerical score is very high, verbal is average, abstract logical is average, would you become a chartered accountant, financial analyst, or a journalist? Please type in what will you become, chartered accountant or a financial analyst. Perfect. So that is why, so what are we saying? Interest, we look at careers that you enjoy doing. You will not feel stressed, comes naturally to you and effortlessly. Then you look at what are the skills required on the job and the skills that come naturally to you, like the right hand signature, so that you enjoy your work to the fullest and be creative. Then you look at the cognitive abilities that come naturally to you, so that you don't have to feel stressed out in doing that work that you are expected to do or the career that you have chosen. Okay, so the last one. Now, before I go to the last one, I want anybody to identify what is the word written in this picture. Type it in the chat box if you can decode, if you are very investigative and have got eye for details. What is the word that is there in this picture, embedded in the picture? So Girish, the winner. Laya. Before that also, I think Vijula also said Laya.
Thank you, sir.
Before that, Prasad also Laya. So a lot of people are caught on. Yes.
I was just answering to ಇದು.
Okay, all right. How did you find this out? You are able to manipulate. This is called three-dimensional
ಇನ್ನೊಂದು 5
rotation.
ನಿಮಿಷ ಮುಗ್ದೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಮಾಡ್ಲಾ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಡೋಂಟ್ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್. ತುಂಬಾ ಲೇಟ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ತಾನೆ ತಮ್ಗೆ?
So, if you
Okay,
look
sorry,
at this
sorry.
picture from a different angle, you will get the answer. Liar is the word hidden. Yeah. So if you do this now, you know how to do programming or what the intelligence agencies and spies do to hide information. This is the simplest version. So the reasoning test, figural reasoning, numerical reasoning, verbal reasoning gives you the cognitive abilities. Therefore, you can choose careers where your cognitive skills are your strength. Yeah. Then the last one is your needs, wants, and desires. I asked you this question, and only a few people said 7 is important from the top 3. Now imagine. So somebody the other day, I was doing a session for students in Chandigarh and Punjab, Ludhiana. So one girl said, "Sir, please tell us where you get maximum salary." I said, "Do you want salary or you want other? What about the other choices?" She said, "No, for me only salary." I said, "Please come to me. I will take you to Pakistan and hand you over. They will give you salary 1 crore per month, and they will give you a gun and they'll give one target to kill a person in a month under Mr. D, the D gang." He said, "What?" I said, "Yeah, there are people who are contract killers. They get 1 lakh to 1 crore per killing. And if money is your motivator, you should become a killer, contract killer." He said, no, if it's a terrorist, I'll kill. Then I said, therefore, do not choose careers based on salary only. I told you how people change. In fact, I had a friend of mine in the Air Force. He had done his MBA, and that is in 1983. He chose Air Force, and he said, honestly, he said Air Force gave 800 rupees extra as the basic salary compared to what he was getting as a marketing assistant in a civil company. So a lot of people make career choices wrongly because that gives a higher starting salary or maximum perks. Whereas what you need is much, much more. When you're able to fulfill your top end needs, wants, and desires, which is not only money. Money could be 1, 2, or 3. For a person who's got a lot of EMIs to pay, I'm sure money will be number 1. That is fine. And that can change with times and your career situation. So please remember, do not choose careers based only on salary. Look at what are the others, and we have tests for that purpose as well. So once you have all these 4, the top left quadrant was interest, your passion. Top right was the skills that come naturally to you. The bottom right was your cognitive abilities that come naturally to you. And the bottom left is the needs, wants, and desires, or the motivation, what drives you. And that's how you balance career decision. And that's what we have published in this book. I have published in this book, Make Your Purpose Your Profession. Meaning, don't make your passion your profession. It's a $1 download from Amazon. Please do it. And there's a surprise in the last page, which is worth at least 1,000 rupees. So I'm not going to announce. You may want to download and explore that part, which is limited by time. This is the second book which is under preparation, how to design your career using your passion and purpose. A workbook for every career decision making, how to design your career using your passion and purpose. Remember, I'm not saying do not use passion. I'm saying do not use passion alone for your career or profession. Graduate from passion to purpose and then make a career choice. So that is how I created this theme, make your purpose your profession, and don't make passion your profession. I'm open to questions. You can write it in the chat box, or you can unmute and speak as well, because we have got about 30 plus people. So Galaxy M31 wants to know that. So the school administrator in the jungle school was very concerned because the rabbit went missing. Day after day, you found some more animals. So they were on the verge of closing. Then came a psychologist, for a cold call to school. Hey, we heard that you have got a lot of school dropouts. We can do an analysis and diagnostics and find out. So they did a study. They managed to call all these past runaway students, school dropouts, away from the school. In the jungle, they met together. They administered a test. And out came the reply. Please do not make the rabbit swim. Let him jump and run. Do not make the duck fly. Let him swim above water. Do not make the fish swim above water or live above water. Let him live underwater. Let the owl fly by night, not by day. And let the eagle soar up. Let the eagle not learn to swim. Wow. So the school changes policy. No more rabbits to go for swimming or flying classes. And the school became a thorough hit. People came from all over the neighborhood jungles, and the school was, in fact, they had to open 3 more branches in the school. Why? Because they believed if God has not, the Creator has not put in swimming as a naturally occurring skill for the rabbit, don't force that. Don't force a person to sign and use the left hand continuously because that is required in the job. So there is Saswant Chowdhury. In a country like India, PhD research academy are much monetarily rewarded compared to MBA. Should it be a reason to prevent someone from pursuing a career in academia, provided one has an interest? Good question, Saswant Chowdhury. Let me give you very specific answer to your question. 1, it is a myth that you are saying that a person with PhD and doing research in the academia are poorly paid. They are poorly paid by some universities, some institutions. Go to IIT, go to ISB Hyderabad, go to other leading institutions, they pay you just as the grade 1 salary range as in the central government service, where the starting salary can be as high as 60,000, and if a person completes 20 years, the salary could be touching 2 lakhs per month. So yes, there is a manipulation, underpayment by institutions, particularly private institutions. So that is why you must now decide. I'll give an example. You have got a PhD, you have a choice to work in Mysore, in the university, staying in your grandfather's house, looking after your farm, which is in the nearby Nanjangud side, or you move to Chennai or Delhi, work in IIT. Lot of people's need is stability, proximity to the family to look after their the inherited property. They sacrifice the career growth and a higher salary in Delhi or Chennai and remain in Mysore, work in a private university or a private institution, drawing half the salary that you would get from Chennai IIT or Delhi IIT. Am I right? If that my explanation is correct, please say yes, and others can ask more questions. Yes, thank you. So it is the choice that we need to make, not because of the qualification. Your qualification should not decide your career. Your passion, your purpose, and what you need in life, your motivation or your values in combination, the job you love, salary may be less. Continue with that till the day you realize, okay, my attachment to my family and certain property in Mysore is over. I can't manage. There's a labor problem. So, agriculture is no more profitable. Then you will say, let me take a plunge. Let me apply for, the professorship in Chennai or in Delhi. So we change careers based on the life situation, and sometimes our needs, wants, and desires also change as we mature in our life and in our career. Okay, what else are some of the questions? Why do we not live the life of a butterfly, serving the pollination, and not live the caterpillar's life, not seeing beyond the looks of the top of the leaf.
Hello, sir. I have a question. Like, just in the age like 10 and 12 classes, will
Yeah.
student have this kind of a maturity? Like, I want this, because that is a stage where their choices or their viewpoints keep on changing. They don't stick to what they don't know what they really want, and even if they know what they want now, it might change in 1 or 2 years, right? So how far is this test, the psychometric test or whatever you told, is it
Okay.
helpful for that age kids, that age
Okay.
children, kids? I think is
14 to 15-year-old plus. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So yeah, Mother of Vajula, good question. Now let me answer step by step. It's not an easy answer. Number one, if you ask consciously using a normal thinking process, what are you interested in? When will time stand still? What kind of activities? If money was not a problem, what kind of job will you do? The conscious brain is not able to think all the time so clearly, particularly at that age. And what you said is true. At that age, the conscious mind changes direction like a weathercock based on where the wind is coming from. Therefore, what good psychometrics, publishers of psychometric tests who are members of British Psychological Society or other international bodies, what they do is they frame the question in such a manner, it goes into the subconscious mind, because therefore the question will be asked ulta. The same thing will be, same concept will be asked either 4 times, 6 times or 8 times, in some of the tests even 12 times, so that you get clarity. You are the majority view. And we do not go by what the report says. We ask you. So somebody says, I play Veena. So why have you not performed on stage? You said, oh no. So are you really passionate about it? How much do you know about Veena? What are the types of Veena? Do you spend time on that? So if they are really passionate about it, they will have all kinds of answers. Yeah. Similarly, violin. What kind of violins are there? What have you learned? Are you limiting only to one? Why not more? So psychometric assessments are able to discern the underlying liking or dislike or interpretation at the subconscious level, where the answers are not likely to be wrong. So if I sit with the 14-year-olds, by asking questions, I can find out what they are passionate about. But what will happen is, after spending 6 hours, we'll arrive, okay, I'm interested in music, I'm interested in teaching. After 1 week, he will say, no, I've changed my mind. You know, these days, if you become a machine language specialist, that's where the money is. You know, money is. See, the conscious mind goes by the surface level needs, not the deeper needs. So we recommended interest profiling, we recommended Big Five profiling, the personality test, we recommended the cognitive ability test, very accurate, and also the motivation or the values questionnaire. Putting these three together, the test takes only 1 hour. The counselor, trained counselor, will spend another 1.5 hours. Within 3 hours total, you get clarity. What are your gifts given by the Creator? What are the skills and talents that you enjoy doing? You also find out what your needs and wants and desires are, and you're able to identify at least the top 5 or 10 careers where this can be put to use to serve humanity or mankind. And you create also your purpose statement. Like if you ask me today, 10, 12 years of flying fighter jets, 10 years of selection training within the Air Force, last 15 years in the corporate world. Today, if you ask me, my purpose in life is to help people, students, individuals, professionals, discover their gifts, skills, and talents in a rapid manner, instead of spending weeks, months, and not losing clarity within 3 hours, within, of course, an investment, and get absolute clarity as to what you need to be. And imagine if a 10th standard child or a 11th standard, 10th standard, let's look at wherever there's a career decision or subject choice. So we do not recommend after 10 you choose maths, physics, chemistry, biology. We say, what do you want to become in life? If ever you have read this book, you must read this book. And as parents, you must buy this book as a gift. 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teenagers. Begin with the end in mind. Do not choose what subject should I choose in 11th and 12th. Ask the child what you want to become in life. What service do you want to provide? What value addition that you want to provide to the world? Look at what comes naturally to you, what you enjoy doing cognitively as well as behaviorally, and also what motivates you. Is it money or is other things? Or money is only one of the top 3. Then choose the right career, then work backwards. What should I do in my post-graduation? What should I do in my graduation? What should I do in my 11th and 12th? I'll give you an example of a girl in Bangalore 6 months before this academic session. She was scoring 95% aggregates in the 12th. And the mother was a teacher and a counselor in a school. I won't mention the school. And the father was in the military. He was not available. The mother was. So mother brought this girl to me. We had a telephonic career counseling session. It appeared that helping profession and particularly psychology, application of psychology, what was her passion. And we looked at the skill set. Yes, she was a good listener, good communicator. And when we looked at the motivation, money was not number 1. She said, I must be able to travel the world. I must enjoy life. I must get a decent life. I'm not looking for a Porsche or a BMW to drive around. I must have a decent air-conditioned car. Today, she's in the 2nd year in Christ University doing her BS psychology. All the relatives, including the father, when he came on vacation in Bangalore, called me up. He said, Joe, 95%, why did you recommend this person to do psychology? Why not BSc, or why didn't you recommend? She was eligible also to become an engineer or a BCA. I said, she will thrive. She will become a star performer in no time. Because everything is aligned in terms of interest, in terms of the skills that they enjoy doing, the talent that she had, and also, and I said she was also a good singer. I said, I want you to learn art, drama, and dance as a therapy to heal people with emotional or psychological disorders. He said, oh, that's fantastic. Combining the uniqueness that she had. Yeah. I think one of the questions asked earlier, sometimes you are not able to use one of your gifts in your profession, keep that as a hobby. I will give one example based on the question. Very interesting story in Mumbai that I had to deal with. So let me see on the chat box. Okay, Girish says, sometimes we need to change our careers. One feeling is that one of fear or dread. Fighter pilots are fearless. How do they become fearless? Yet they think cool and brilliantly even during critical flights and decision making. We could adopt that principle in civil life as well. By the way, if you want to become a pilot, you have to do +2 with maths and physics. Now, degree is mandatory in maths and physics, or an engineer is a preferred qualification for a pilot because flying has become really technical. And with so much of automation, the best of automation, artificial intelligence, all applied on the fighter cockpit. Okay. Therefore, a person has to be really good intellectually as well as emotionally. Your thinking skills, interpersonal skills, problem solving skills, and stress management skills has to be. So I was in charge of pilot aptitude test selection in Mysore Air Force Selection Board from 1995 to 99. Thereafter, in Air Headquarters, looking after all the selection board. The average selection rate of a person appearing for PABT, pilot aptitude battery test, varied between 6% to 18%, under 20%. So we were asked a question in the parliament, how much does it cost to the Indian Air Force to make a person a full-fledged pilot who can take up independent operations? We did that, so it takes about 2 years, ground studies, flying training, other courses. So there are so many courses, there's so much of learning, it's really learning. 2 crores is the cost to the exchequer to create a fighter pilot. And where did the money come from? The tax we pay. And you know what are the other day's news? Only 1% of people pay taxes, income tax in India. So now you know why it is important to select the right people, so that one, they don't kill themselves by stupid accidents. Two, they ensure that they deliver value, because in war there is no prize for runner-up, only for the winner. I hope that answers your question, Girish. So we can adapt these. So whatever are the qualities of fighter pilot, yes, we can. If a fighter pilot can demonstrate it, you and I also can do it by modeling, or what we saw, copying. It is possible. Okay. Only thing is, yes, we need to invest time, not and money, of course. And when it comes to investing money, we are very comfortable paying 5,000 rupees for a 5-star dinner with the family, or a 30,000 to 70,000 iPhone for the daughter in 10th standard, but to pay 5,000, 7,000, 10,000 rupees for a detailed career counseling, which is an investment for life, after 10th standard, parents do not. They close their hands like, oh, no, 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 no. Can we not have something cheaper? Now, that's a sad part. Awakening is happening when they realize a wrong choice. It's like I was in charge of, when I was in Air Headquarters in 2002, there was a representation by 7,000 commercial pilot license holders. Why are you not taking us when you've got a shortage of 600 pilots in the Air Force? We said in Air Force, anybody cannot become a fighter pilot or a military pilot. There are certain, so the weeding out rate, we said, is as high as 80%. Less than 20% make it through. Even if you've got a commercial pilot license, we want people who can take agile action under stressful situation. Act, react under emergencies. I was flying the MiG-29 way back in 1991. I took off on the Pune base. I was doing a test, engine test run. And within 4 minutes of takeoff, the fire warning light came on. I was looking at the temperature said no. Then another warning light, you get the audio as well as visual warning. And my God, I didn't know whether I'm going to survive or not survive, but I cross-checked all the instruments. Everything said is fine. And I gave a call, Mayday, coming back to base, and landed in 7 minutes flat. And I did not eject. I did not abandon the plane. What was found? One of the air data integrating computer had failed. First time in the life of the MiG-29. Now, if I chose to eject or douse the engine, switch off the engine, possibly catastrophe or a loss of a plane, an injured pilot could have been an outcome. That's the kind of response that we need to get from people in the cockpit. Yes. Any more questions? We had a long session. It's already 9:30 and there are more questions also coming up. A personal and direct question. We have a counseling after marriage and 2 kids, then a post-graduation. I did a post-graduation after a decade of graduation. So remember, our learning need changes over time, and that is fine. I invest not less than 1 lakh every year, normally 2 to 3 lakhs every year, in upskilling myself, building up new skills that are relevant and contemporary. Sometimes the training happens in Malaysia, sometimes in Thailand, sometimes in the US, or sometimes in UK or France. That is the investment I make, and I'm sure most of the successful people, that's what they do. They invest in their own development. Okay, any other questions? I'm thoroughly enjoying my session. I can speak for the next 3 hours. Anything else from you, Shravant? Anything else that you want to share?
Yeah, Shravant here. So I think Aditi has, there's some problem with Aditi's system, so I'm taking over the session. So it was actually a great time with you.
Yeah, I think she's coming up.
Sorry, somebody has.
I think it was Aditi. You continue. I'll tell her if required. Yeah.
So we had a great session here, and a lot of people are joining. They want to join now, but I think it's too late to include people. So we'll be having the video streaming of the same session maybe 1st of October. So, any more questions from the participants? Anybody else?
How to
Yes.
contact? What's
Yes.
contact details? You would share that, Shravant?
Yes. I have just pinged my number. So,
Yeah.
when you watch the live streaming session,
Copy chat?
yeah. Pardon?
No. I
Yes.
unmuted myself
Yeah.
to ask one more question to this
Yes,
to sir.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. The son and the daughter's mother.
Yeah. See, when my
Okay.
son was in 10th standard, the school did the psychometric test actually.
Yeah.
I mean, they did, and they gave him a suggestion like what you said and all that had happened.
Mm.
Do you, I don't know, I am not sure, but do you think he might have changed in this 2 years' time?
Okay. Let me give you a counter answer. So there were these twin girls from Kochi studying in a internet IB school. Father was in Dubai, economist and a journalist. Mother was a homemaker. Their IB school, where they were paying per child per month minimum 20,000 rupees fees, they were unhappy with the career counseling provided. So they connected with the HOD of Christ University because he was my student in one of the psychometric certifications that I did. He said, Joe, go meet Joe Paulson. So the family drove to Bangalore and they were also happy to attend the firewalk during that day. We conducted the interest profiling, the personality test, the ability test, and a motivation questionnaire. We had a 2.5 hour session each. At the end, we involved the parents also, and we arrived at what were their gifts, what were the skills that they enjoy doing, what were the cognitive abilities that help them, and what were the motivation. One girl wanted to travel all over the world, others said, no, I would like to have a little more fixed lifestyle. The differentiator was the reasoning test. So the quality of the tests, the reliability and validity of the tests are critical. There are minimum 24 tests available in the market. All the tests me and Shravant or Deepa use are all sourced from international publishers who have been in the game for so many years, and the tests are validated across cultures, multiple languages, and peer reviewed as good, meeting the requirements. Whereas I know more than a dozen tests developed in India. I'm also associated with test development in India with some people. And when we ask them, do you have a manual, technical manual, how it has been developed, the reliability, validity studies, they shy away. The algorithms used for the career selection are flawed. And these are some of the contributory reasons. So you don't need to tell me who did what test you did. You can connect with us in private. We offer a repeat counseling session with a senior person like me, whom I am a trainer, in case they are not happy with what has been provided, because sometimes there may be a disconnect in interpretation or understanding of a report. Okay? Or sometimes the confusion is so much. So you will always get a more trained person for an additional session free of cost in case there is a confusion. So based on what you said, I suspect the tools that were used were not good enough. I know bad tools in the market. I will not name it. That's not my job. We only say how good our tool is. You want to see sample reports, see it without any fee. You want a technical manual, how it has been developed, take it, study it if you can, because as a layperson, you can't make much out of it, but we'll explain to you. And I provide more than 60 tools in India. Nobody else in the world provides under one roof so many tools. And I source it because I want to ultimately satisfy the customer, get the results that is required, so that the child or a person going through the test for career counseling or career decision, identifying the purpose in life. Remember, that's why we end our career counseling session with the crafted purpose, which says these are my gifts, skills, and talents, and what is the career that will give me maximum opportunity, what are my needs, wants, and salaries that I expect, and what are the potential careers, therefore what should I do with my PG graduation and in the 11th and 12th. I hope this gives you sufficient answer, Vajula. Otherwise, connect with us separately, offline. You will get all the answers that you're seeking.
Message it for sure.
All right. Okay.
Question someone had about whether it's too late to change one's career. I'm not sure where they are in their career life, but they wanted to know if it's too late to change it.
Okay, so I've helped a banker. He retired at the age of 60. Today he is a trainer. There's another colleague of mine, is in the Air Force. He's a commercial pilot. He's also 61. He says, yeah, another 4 years I can fly, but I'm not happy. I'm making enough money, but then how do I give back to society? How can I make the world a better place? I've told him, do the same test that I described, and we will have a counseling session and help you, which should be your niche. The benefit of these tests is you can identify your niche that you focus on. What's that one thing or one area only you in the universe can do it? That's the clarity that we can bring. So it is applicable for a 14-year-old or a 60-year-old. We have got different tests also available in case somebody wants more insights.
Sir, how do we get in touch with you, please?
Okay, so Shravant has given the details on the chat box. So Shravant and I work together. He runs a foundation and giving back to society. So we run certification program for career counseling. We do career counseling retail for students. We do bulk, to students in schools and colleges, so that they choose the career that is the most appropriate one based on the contract with the creator to make this world a better place and as well as create abundance in their life.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Okay, Girish. All right, I think it's time for us to start winding up. I think I don't see any more questions. So who's going to do the honor, Shravan or Aditi? I thoroughly enjoyed the session and I feel valued. I said, please buy this book, make your purpose your profession, which is just $1. Whatever I explained, 80% is explained in that book. It's an e-book, downloadable from Amazon. Yes, Aditi and Shravan. Oh, wow. Meka, you bought. So please give a review also. I'll be happy to hear the review. Okay, thank you so much.
Sure, sir.
Thank you, sir.
For the wonderful session.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Joseph Paulsenji, for your very illuminating talk. I'm sure it's helped all of us. As you said, whether you're 14 or 60, I think there is some amount of introspection we can all do. For where we are in our lives, where we want to go in our career, but it should be the sole deciding factor. I think that's very clear from today's session, and we all have a lot of thinking to do. Thank you. I request our audience to stay tuned with Nadopasana. We have a lot of interesting things planned. This organization has a lot of purposes. We want to look into dance and music and science and technology. So we have hopefully something for. We are on Facebook and all other common social media. Please stay tuned, and we hope to do many engaging sessions.
Unmute. So thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Have a great evening and have a great week ahead and the holidays ahead. And may you discover your gifts, skills, and talents and live your purpose, making this world a better place. And when you leave this universe, people will say, wow, thank you so much for whatever you have done. That's a gratitude that we must look forward to thousands or countless people. If they can thank you for making their life a better life, then we have lived our purpose. All right. So bye
Thank you.
and thank you. Yeah.
Thanks for being with
Signing
us.
off.
Thank you.
Thank you.